Isso, como isso? Pá! Acho que agora foi. Ai, vamos lá. Eita. Cadê as escadas? Cadê as escadas? Aqui. Vamos apelar. Vamos apelar. Vamos apelar. Section 9. Lostbelt. Morning Star of Rebellion. Emergency, emergency. Spartacus is no longer with us. What? Huh? That's not all. A number of villagers have gone missing as well. The ones who remained say this was Spartacus leading villagers toward the capital. What? If the Emperor sees that, he'll think we're leading a rebellion. What is wrong with that muscle-bound moron? How could he do this? Hey, Berserker ain't exactly much for think you're planning. Spartacus is just being true to himself. Hell, he couldn't change who he is even if he wanted to. Do something, Ed. Didn't your records mention him obeying that Roman? If he can listen to her, he can listen to you. That was between Nero and Spartacus, not me. What's with that knowing look? Are those command spells of yours just fancy tattoos? Go on and use one already, you fool. This may be the moment of truth, Mr. Ned. Forming a contract with an unruly berserker inevitably means using command spells to keep them in check. You may not care for that idea, but it is something you need to come to terms with sooner or later. It is frankly miraculous that you've come so far without ever having to force your servants to obey. I would like nothing more than to respect your wishes, but I'm afraid that... Hold up. Mordred. You're not gonna make Sparty toe the line just by forcing him to stop with a command spell. All that will do is just root him in place. So please, Master, whatever you do, don't use your command spell on him. If you do, he might end up forgetting his whole reason for leaving the throne to come here and help. Can you let me handle him, Master? I'm sure I can convince him to stop. How might that be? How do you think? By beating the ever-living shit out of him. You see, it's his legs and stuff that keep him going. So long as those are telling him to fight, he's not gonna stop for anything. So if you just hit him so hard that he needs give out, then he'll get through his thick skull knees that the battle's over. Are you quite certain that would be better than a command spell? Positive. I give that a more direct guarantee. What? I confess that even I cannot see the logic here. What do you think, Mr. Ned? This is ultimately your decision to make. I'm counting on you, Mordred. Hell yeah, don't worry, I've got this. Ai, lá vem boneco, lá vem Paladogo. O que é? Tem uns touro e uns cowboy e costuma acontecer em Barretos. Ai, caralho, até esqueci de botar pra capturar a tela do Fate. Ei, meus ovos, velho. Calma aí, boneco, já te digo. Não sei o que é, cara. Fala o que é, cara. Eu não sei o que dizer pra você, cara. Ai, cara, agora o negócio funciona aqui. Ai, meu Deus. Tem uns turnos que eu vou falar o que é o rodeio. Vou falar o que é o rodeio pra você, cara. Eu sei que também vai ser só um rodeio, velho. Vou te mostrar quem vai montar quem, cara. Você é um doente, seu boneco. Coleque do K-pop, velho. I go with you, I think keep me... Ai, meu Deus, velho. I go with you, I think I may be possibly too big for the village's decision to join him. Are you sure, Mr. Jinke? Wouldn't you rather be leading the way with him? They're leading the way. Truthfully, yes. I honestly kind of envy him getting to materialize as a berserker. Because he can throw caution to the wind and do whatever he feels like at any given moment. No, because even though he's a berserker, he's got such a good master. As a heroic spirit myself, I can't help but feel a little jealous of that. There's a hold down the fort, the borders or the lifeline here, so make sure you don't let anything happen to it. Leave it to me, I await your return. Okay everyone, let's go bring Spartacus and the villagers back. Hey Spartacus, are you sure about this? I thought that we weren't supposed to leave our village's field. Yes, I'm sure. No system, no edicts, no laws can ever stop one from walking about freely. One's paths always lie ahead of whatever your own true feet take you. I don't know. We were taught we were taught that Heavenly Emperor gave us those fields as a gift of love. If the authorities wish to call their oppression love, then it's only right to return the love in the form of rebellion. I don't think you understand. No matter, you will come to understand as we continue walk. Now to the oppressor's capital. The capital where Heavenly Emperor lives. Come to think of it, I heard it's got something called art. Art, is that anything like those poems Jinke's been sharing with us? I wanna hear lots more poems. I wanna see what the capital looks like too. Well said, then let us be on our way. Sing me songs of liberation all the while. Hold it, hold it. Did you really think we were gonna let you do this, you freaking dumbass? Don't you think it was a touch rude to just wander off without so much as a goodbye? If it is the antidote for that concerns you, rest assured I will bring it back after seeing those responsible brought to justice. If you doubt that I'm doing the right thing, then merely sit and await my return. I must give this Kishin Hong oppressor the firm embrace he deserves. I already know the Emperor is at Xiangyang. All that remains now is to continue onward until I reach this great oppressor. Please stop this, Spartacus. I can understand why you have doubts, Mr. Nat. After all, you have yet to attain real strength for yourself. All the more reason why I must go, to show by example what true justice is. As such, I will not hesitate to crush anything that stands in my way with true rebellious love. Yep, I knew it. He ain't gonna listen to a word we said. Yep, time for my genius plan. If he won't list reason, we'll just have to beat it into him. Come on, Spartacus, let's you and me hash things out. Hey, hey. Okay.
こういうこともできる。どれにしようかな。どれにしようかな。こういうこともできる。
Kijini. Army. Blouse. Ah, vai, narra! Narra essa delícia! Caralho, Sam, qual o seu problema, cara? Furukiru. Eita.
なんだって話しちゃおう。もろいもろいもろいもろい。子よりはすごく私たちは
Oh no, Ami. Maria da Ripa. Meu Deus, velho. O que vocês três estão fazendo mutados ali, velho? Não quero melhor não perguntar, não. Cara. Já vai morrer. Muito estranho, velho. Auspicioso. Auspicioso. Ai, ai. Ai, ai. O carinha tá pelando, hein? Então... E aí, boné, curtiu a Jack Stripador, cara? E a Chloe? Que isso, cara? Esse joguinho é bless. Doente é aquele anime que você fica vendo lá, cara. Aquela chave de perna lá. Jingyang Field, Morning Star of Rebellion. Não pode continuar. A Jack. Esse joguinho assim. É isso. Ping, ping, ping. Modred, I thought you said you were going to make his knee give out or so much. Yeah? What of it? His knees aren't giving out at all. If anything, hitting him is only getting him more fired up. Honestly, I think it's creeping me out. Now what? I know, this is so much fun, right? He's got will to fight out of the was what? I knew it. You're actually a berserker too, aren't you? Ah, what a thrill! This adversity, this pain, I can feel indomitable strength welling up within me. You can do it, Spartacus. Why are Spartacus and the others arguing again? Beats me. If this keeps up, it won't last much longer, Master. Honestly, it's very rough. I'm starting to get feverish, so... no, I'm starting to get feverish. It's no use, they don't even remember they're draining my magical energy. The way they're going, that's going to end up collapsing before either of them. Damn it. Stop, 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 stop. This is no time for fighting, we have an emergency. Neza. And Fao, what are you two doing here? What's going on? You're supposed to be keeping watch. King Liangyu betrayed us. She stole the boarded Holmes told me to keep this thing safe. King Liangyu. The spirit orange graph? Then they really did take the border. What the hell? You just let them waltz in and steal our home base? How could you let this happen? Stop it, Mudred. Nisa wanted to stay and fight just as much as you would have. But Holmes decided it was more important to make sure the spirit orange graph stayed with Ned. Indeed, I imagine the enemy must have used the shadow ward itself as a shield. A common tactic of oppressors to respond to rebellion is destroying what the rebels wish to protect. The hell you're being so calm for? I thought we were all worked up. Unfortunately, you can't use the spiritual graph by itself in this Lostbelt. Without the land's ley lines responding, there just isn't enough electricity to power it. I'm afraid not. Losing the border really is a tremendous blow. You mean the 18th streak had to be performed inside it to work. Kishi Huang, can you hear me? We can. The entire land is our garden. No noise or tumult within escapes our notice. I thought we had a deal. Indeed we did. And were we a god, our word would be absolute. However, we are not a god, but human, and the ruler of this land. It is only natural that we would value our nation over a bargain. Thus, now that we know you are a threat to our people, we have no compunctions about taking your shadow borders and wiping out all of you. All of you out. A threat? What do you mean? Did we do something to the village? We see, so you are either oblivious or unconstrained. Then you lot truly are disciples of Confucius. Ah, now I get it. 2200 years later, and you haven't changed a bit. No, if anything, you've gotten worse. What do you mean, Jinke? Kishin Hong's mad that I went around teaching people to read and write. That's why we're getting slapped with the Confucian label. Confucianism is about five virtues: justice, courtesy, wisdom, knowledge, and benevolence. It extols poetry, manners, and entertainment. And Kishin Hong, tyrant that the emperor hates everything about it. Our people live their lives in blissful ignorance. You and your Confucianists have led them astray. Confucianism is a malignant disease and you its epicenter. We must cut you out like a tumor lest you spread further. Are you truly so terrified of your citizens gaining knowledge, tyrant? Knowledge leads to doubt. Once people are trapped by such delusions, they never begin comparing themselves to others and resent the world itself. Without such wicked individual egotism, this world can be paradise everlasting. It is through ignorance that our people live their lives in peace and health. And you arrogant Confucians would knowingly go about ruining that. So what do you want to keep your people from learning anything so it's easier to rule them? Why should we give two shits about that? Confucians run apart in your world. How long has it ever remained peaceful? Humans who gain knowledge never come to believe they are better than everyone else, which leads only to war, and all that creates is grief and sorrow. That is why such words cry out in such agony as to create a counterforce in the form of heroic spirits. We shiver just imagining such a hell. Do you disagree? Go on then. Tell us how your world is so wonderful in the way people from all walks of life can share in the mutual bonds of misery. Hey, you suppose we could have tricked you out of your shadow border through more cunning means, but our disgust got the better of us. We must obliterate you to ensure that no trace is left behind. Aí, fodeu. Xiangyu. Kwai Zero, we have new orders for you. Destroy every last one of the Confucians. As you wish. Hey, Ned. Should I apologize to you for taking pity on these people? It was the best move, but it wasn't wrong either. Right, that's exactly the path we've made for ourselves. We own up to our mistakes, do our best to make them right. That means we can compromise and even forgive each other. And that is the one thing this world will never ever have. Bom, dá pra levar dois. Pelo menos um chão pro PNP. Ame, Maria Taripa.
切るに行く。シャー解体するよ。これだね。
Aí como ficou pra mim?
命令ともささやかなもろいもろい。なんだ切るの行くよ。
Shangyu, Shangyu.
古きルール。
古きルール。
こういうこともできる。こういうこともできる。古きルール。切るの。子よりは動く。私たちは炎、雨、
Laripa.
シャー解体するよ。
Battle finished. Cadê seus dois caras? Entra lá, cara.
A gente tava no meio do Dota, caralho.
Cara, cara full pistola, mano.
Ah, tô bolado.
Perdeu, velho? Tá com couro quente, mano?
Não, eu tô dando build-up pra ficar bolado com a espada do Portugal.
Gosta de uma história?
Eu acho que isso aí é couro quente, velho.
Um valorãozinho, Nedinho?
Não, tenho que jogar Fate aqui. Eu tenho que terminar uns capítulos aqui.
Beleza, então.
Tá.
Mas aí.
Valeu aí.
Beleza, velho.
Ai, vamos. Jack with Trust. Man, this thing's serious stuff. Our attacks aren't even phasing them. How strength to strength is not due to hardware difference. Aha, now I see what's going on. He's reading our moves before we make them. The hell? Not even my old man's intuition is this much of a pain in the ass. Ah, Viti, para com isso, cara. Eu sei que você gosta também, mano. Você gosta das wife, cara. I'm sure this is no ordinary skill of reading one's opponent. It's closer to precognition. I calculate that your destruction is inevitable. Resign yourselves, barbarians. Bullshit, if you could really see the future, you'd know there's no way in hell that we ever give up without a fight. Indeed, that is why I predict you will soon face further hardships. Jumbling? What now? Allow me to assist you, Lord Shangyu. Prince of Langling. Akuta, you're here too? This time, Mesh and I will kill you both. Oh, here I thought you would be soaking, yet it seems you have come to serve us once again, Nakuta Hinako.
Pra você, Alessandro. Você é maneiro, cara. Valeu.
Ei, caralho, veio aqui só pra mandar uma mensagem pra ele, cara. Ai, filho da podia sair, velho. E aí, beijo pra você, Alessandro. You have come to serve once again, Nakuta Hinako. Now that you understand the threat Claudia poses, your Imperial Majesty, I'm happy to follow your wishes. Now we see. You're determined not to let Xiangyu fight alone. How considerate of us. Very well, have at it. But be warned, there is little time left. Do not bother killing them. All you need to do is hobble them. Yes, good point. Understood. Oh shit, these guys working together again is the last thing we need. And you can afford to take your time with them, or we'll never catch up to the Shadow Border. Ai, Vitinho, você é um doente, né, cara? Akuta Hinako. Você é bem burro, né, velho? Eu não vou te julgar, não, cara.
殺そうか。なんだって？切るね。なんだなんだか
Será que vai? Tem um crítico isso.
ささやかな。
Turum.
そうで。
Turum.
馬高い。狩りに切れ。
Aí.
よやんサウ切る行くよ。シャー敗退するよ。 命令とも
Será que leva? Ah, levou.
ささやかな。
Mais um. Aí. Machucando, velho.
なんだと？切る
Tá
の。
machucando, Jesus.
ささやかな。
Vai ser foda. Vai ser foda. Prince of Lonely.
鍛錬するがいいわ。
Prepare yourself.
古きルーン。古きルーン。どれにしよう。どれにしようかな。 これだね。命令とも。行くよ。 子よりはすごく。私たちは炎、雨。
Maria da Ripa.
シャー
大事なしかり
ここぞ正気。
Aí, como que eu fico? Urukiruru.
そんなに見たいの？ よやん
Deu certo.
こうしてほしいんでしょう。そうしたいの？いいわ。殺しちゃおう。こっちよ。穂より広く私たちは炎、雨、マリアダリッパー。
Jack with trust.
行くわよ。行きます。
No one come on, no one come on, no one come on.
これだね。なんだって？行くよ。
Why Jack, why Jack, why Jack? Ah, oh Jack. Ai.
その通
Ok, vai morrer. Ok, vai morrer.
切るね。やっ行くわよ。
り光
Ai. Ai, Jack.
いざ。巻きつけ。構え。そんなに見たいの？とっておき。そうした。そうしたいの？山を抜き、水をなお落ちることなきその両翼。確約3連。仕切り直す。交代せよ。行くわよ。
なし
バイバイ。
Ai, não acabou ainda. Moi? Perdeu.
承知。いい。そうしたいの？かっ。
É.
我は覇王にあらず故に阻めば
冗談
蹴
でしょ。
散らすのみぞ
É. Não sei nem como eu venço esse negócio sem apelar.
どれにしようかな。こういうこともできる。古きルール。古きルール。まあいいだろう。我が名に紐付けられし力。来たれ我が城。影の城。
Estou fechado.
ゲートオブスカイ。穂よりは広く私たちは炎、雨、マリアダリッパー。えい。
大臣なし大臣なしその通り
Ah, não morreu!
凍てつく
Por que não morreu?
諦めることは許さんぞ
Morre, cara. Morre, cara. Hurry, get as far away as you can while Liquid Zero keeps the enemy busy. Yes, man. I must say it's humiliating to find your hands so firmly tied. Well, what can we do? Advanced as might be, the Shadowbolt is still basically a car with a bunch of tires. We can stop them from towing it. I suppose we should be content with the fact that Neza was able to escape. It's fortunate for us that they are apparently completely ignorant to the spirit origin graph's importance. Whatever you might be up to, don't bother. Try anything funny and I'll cut you down where you stand. And here I thought you were a proud warrior. I'm disappointed to see you resort to underhanded deception, Scudere. Say what you want, Confucian. Your words are no more than mean to me. Now that I know you were Confucian, I also know better than to trust anything that comes out of your mouth. We are not Confucians. I don't know what you call it in your world, but here, anyone who tries to enlighten our people is a Confucian. Oh, come on. What good could there possibly be in giving people knowledge? Make them read books that only confuse, deceive, and delude, causing them to lose sight of what they are meant to be. You do the devil's own work. You rebels should be ashamed of yourselves, spouting ideas you don't really believe, agitating people merely to further your own ambitions. I can stand people like you. You don't actually have any ambitions like that, though. We just shared some things we knew while we were making conversation. Then you did it on a lark. That's even worse. You have no idea what will happen to people you've tainted with your Confucians. What was that? Enough. It is time. All of you leave at once. But we still have yet to kill the Chaldeans. We will not punish you for your competence. Incompetence? Foda-se. In failing to kill them. You need merely to wait for your next opportunity. Now go, or you will be caught up in it. Let's go, Pixie of Lonely. You too, Lost Young you. Very well. As you wish. What the hell? Why did they all run off like that? I don't like this. The oppressor is up to something. Reviewing communication. There is little time left. I wonder. There's only one reason for the Emperor to retreat now. Qixing Huang is about to unleash an indiscriminate attack. I bet it will wipe out the entire area. Very good. Since you have figured out this much, we shall tell you what is about to happen. We have just released a payload from our Great Wall and altered its trajectory. To strike your location approximately 3 meters. Foda-se. Are you freaking nuts? You're overgrown can. You'd really kill your own people just to gather trust? Not think so much of yourselves. You have it quite backward. We only ordered the soldiers to cripple you in order that you might also be caught in the blast radius as an added bonus of sorts. Then you did this explicitly to destroy this village? It is what must be done to rid our land of Confucians. Now that enlightenment has begun to spread amongst the people, we are left with no choice but to nip it. But accursed tyrant, have you so little regard for the lives of your own citizens? Silence! This land is our flesh, it is our blood. Its people are our blood. You can never understand the pain such an action causes us. But now that it has been infected with Confucians, we have no choice but to cover a piece of our flesh before the poison spreads. So this is Qixing Huang. Flee if you wish, but it's too late for the people of this village. Once you have turned tail and fled, be our guest to turn back and witness the destruction Confucians has wrought. Damn it, that bastard's crazier than I thought. I never expected murdering the Empire citizens to be more important than killing us. You gotta. There it is now. It's so massive. When it hits, I don't think anything will be left of this area. What is that? Ah, an evil star. Most glorious and majestic heavenly emperor must be furious. So the rumors about stars falling on villages that reject the emperor's blessings were true? This can't be happening. Why would the heavenly emperor be so furious? Was it wrong for us to recite poems? Was it wrong for us to try to go to the capital? No, none of you did anything wrong. You followed your dreams in search of freedom, as anyone would. I see now, I understand. So this is why I was summoned to this land. It was also that I could strike back against this great oppression. Spartacus? And you have yet to become an oppressor. Now it's time for you to demonstrate your authority. What do you want me to do? Use the command spell on me. Use it and say only one word. Jump. Now I get it. Crying warmonger. What'd you just say? We normally have no way to defend against or destroy something as utterly destructive as a meteor strike. But Spartacus' noble fantasy changes to match what he's up against. The more powerful the attack, the stronger his resulting counter-attack will be. If he can do that in the air before the meteor has a chance to strike, he might just be able to destroy it before it hits the ground. Whoa, wait a damn minute. I suggest he fly up there and let that thing hit him? Not to worry, such tremendous adversity is perfect for showing off the strength of my rebellion. You can't. That will completely annihilate your spirit orange. Ah, we won't know until we've tried. Regardless, there's no time to debate the matter. We don't have long before that wicked star arrives. Senpai! Jump, Spartacus! É como se eu tivesse alguns só comandos pra saber. I feel it. I can feel the power of our bond overflowing with me. Eita, cara. He really jumped? That's no other than relief. He's being propelled by a truly massive eruption of magical energy. Tá, agora Spartacus foi irado. Now is the time for my legs to rebel against gravity. Tá, ficou irado. Humans, open your eyes and turn your gaze upwards. The sleep is the very pinnacle of liberation. It is the irrational act that will triumph over this adversity. The wings of freedom. If this star means to oppress the sky itself, the night too shall become a star, a rebellious morning star that lights the world below. Rawr. He really did take it head on? No. Damn it, why'd he crash right into it? He could have deflated it or something so he wouldn't get so hurt. No, he was prepared for this. For his normal photons to be its most powerful, he would need to be at his most gravely injured. Wonderful, this pain is honor, this pain is life, I can feel my love about to explode. Warcry overload! This can't be right, where did these people get and surface to a weapon? No, they have no such weapon, this must be the work of one of their heroic spirits. Remember this sight well, Hanshin. This is the true face of our army's new enemy. Beleza, One Punch Man. Oh, incredible. The entire maze is completely evaporating. He really did it, but where is he now? There, I can see him falling back down. That big dumbass. Oh, hello, rebellious knight. Did you catch me in those twig moves of yours? Kinda crap. All the people you stirred up like a jackass were watching you, you know. Can't just smash face first on the ground, lunkhead. You're supposed to at least land on your feet. Hell, you shouldn't be falling at all. You're supposed to land properly, no matter what. That's just what you gotta do, right? these wounds are. Yes, I'm afraid Spartacus' spirituality isn't going to last much longer. Ah, your words cut deep, Knight of Camelot. I should expect as much from the manliest man of the Knights of the Round Table. Who you calling a man? Ain't freaking fair, saying shit like that at a time like this. You're all bitter to hell, nowhere left for me to even punch you. Go ahead, I'm sure your punch would feel most pleasant. Are you gonna die, Spartacus? Ah, of course not, Spartacus, you'll never truly die. Not as long as you keep the light of rebellion alive within your heart. That's all I ask, my friends. Spartacus, I can't believe he did all that to save us. I'm not gonna cry, I mustn't. Spartacus, he never stopped smiling, no matter how much he hurt. How much he hurt. Kid. I'm gonna get strong enough that I can smile through anything too, so I can be somebody else's Spartacus one day. So as long as I and whoever comes after me keep smiling, Spartacus will always live on. Now I get it, so this is his real rebellion. Something is wrong with the spirit origin graph. It's hot, very hot. What? Don't tell me it's broken. No, it's not that. It's reaction to the ley line. What? But I thought that didn't work in this last. What? I thought it didn't work in this last map. That's it. There's prayer here now. Hope has finally blossomed in these people's hearts, connecting this world to the throne of heroes. Yes, this land is no longer cut off from the throne of heroes. Heroic spirits have heard the wishes of people lacking their own voice, and are about to pay them a visit. Changong. This area smells familiar, and I think you recognize those fair of mountains as well. It would seem we've been invited to our homeland, although something seems off. I don't see a single sign of war anywhere, nor do I see anyone resembling a master. I suppose this means we've gone rogue, so to speak. Pity. I was kind of looking forward to that whole spiel you get to do when you first met your master. Well, now, I even begin? Why do you look like that? What do you mean? How else would Lubu Fengshan look? What? What other heroic spirit could possibly be fit to be summoned alongside the great Shangong than Lubu, the Flying General? But you obviously had red hair. Lubu is a man among men, and had hair a horse among horses. Everyone knows we were inseparable during our adventures. I'm what they call an innocent monster. Oh, look, a carrot. Nah, a yummy carrot where? I knew it. You are red hair. Nonsense, I'm Lubu. The fuck tá acontecendo? Dashing through 1000 li. Podia ter botado essa cadeira em mim. So what's our next move? The first thing we should be doing is striking out the Shadow Border, but we cannot leave these people to fend for themselves. Kishuhan wants them dead. Right, and I'm pretty sure Kishuhan's where the whole Operation Wall Drop thing failed. It's not no stress. Imagine after Shangyu being sent back to finish the job. Only they've got big guard in the border now. Singing as that's the enemy top priority right now. The interruptions of the Great Wall is something that gets done often or in rapid succession. I'm sure Kishihan doesn't want to damage the land any more than strictly necessary. That said, if you stay one place too long, I'm sure the Emperor will try it again, so you need to keep moving. And you wanna take the village here with us? That would put them in the crossfire of a battle too dangerous. What would you do never do? I want to hear your plan, Jinky. My plan? I agree with Senpai JK. You're great at coming up with plans. You think, well, if you need me to help, I guess I'd better step up. Our biggest problem is how can Shihan can keep tabs on us from Great Wall, how many of the bounded field devices we have. She gives Senpai and me one each, and we have the single backup unit, then we should split them in 3 directions. The main group will go after the Shadow Wards, and the other 2 will take the village somewhere safe. Is there any safe thing how Emperor Douchebag is looking straight down at us? Fortunately, the Emperor can only look straight down. Maybe you're saving grace. Oh, there is no trouble with such guys. Is something overhead, like a cave or forest thick with foliage. We don't know how well we camouflage the vast workers. We give them a shot. And of course, if Keishihon loses sight of us, then the expect will come search at the ground level. So we expect the nearby areas to be crawling those mechanical soldiers. Then we'll have to kick the shit out of them every time. But how are we gonna keep low profile if we do that? This land isn't exactly the best for hiding either. Which is why each group will kill skill or will need a skill fighter, since there will be no getting around the fact that we will all run into patrols at some point. Moderate needs I'd like each of you to guard half the village. Mashnad and I will go after the shadow borders. What happens with the village are finally safe when the village. Our ultimate destination is Shangyang, so we can hide out near there while we wait during this rendezvous. How does that sound? Works for me. Your plans got more holes than a sieve, but that'll make it easier to adapt on the fly. I too have no significant projection. Then it's settled. We weren't born in this village, we've been here all our lives, now we have to leave it behind. I'm so sorry to drag you on to this, but if you stay, your lives will be in danger again. But that's not fair. What did you do to deserve this? Nothing. You didn't do jack shit. Kishihon just threw a tantrum cause you got into her nose a bit. None of this is your fault. This is just what happens to normal people during a war. You've just gotta think of it like a tornado, an earthquake, or something else outside your control. This can't be happening. I don't know the idea of getting to go somewhere that's not is kind of, how do I put this? Yeah, it's like a hot feeling in the bottom of our chest. It kind of makes me want to yell and shout and run around the circus. I know it's exciting. This must be what Spartacus meant when he talked about freedom. Hell yeah, it is. And in our world, it's something so precious. People risk their lives to protect it. What is with this stupid talisman? How can they seal away my spiritual origin and miss sage art? It's not fair. Well, aren't you a sorry sight, Koyanskaya? Akuta, you came to rescue me. Come on then, hurry up and get these stupid things off me. I didn't think I'd have any trouble breaking free of these obsolete sage arts, but annoyingly this talisman uses a spell made for sending away gods. As I am now, I'm afraid there's nothing I can do about it. And I should help you. Why exactly? Oh, don't be like that. You and I are the only ones in this Lostbelt who can really count on each other. Well, that's odd. I could have sworn the disciples of the foreign god were supposed to be entirely neutral in all of this. Didn't the rules say that you weren't allowed to help anyone encrypted in particular? Don't be silly, of course I'd make an exception for you, Kuta. After all, we go way back, don't we? Yes, I suppose we do, which is why I find it so surprising that you never realized this about me. I have always utterly detested you. Well, maybe not you per se, but another fox woman just like you. I don't know what made you end up manifesting like that, but you sure took your sweet time getting there. Don't you know it's rude to go babbling about a lady's past? The point is, you and I are cut off from the same misanthropic cloth, right? Don't you think it would only benefit us if we played nice? Both of us if we played nice. If you're going to bring up mutual benefit to Kanskai, I have even more reason to refuse. How could help you possibly be worth getting on clinching one backside? Oh, you really mean there. In this world, when it comes to business, you're either a client or a product. I was hoping to keep you as a client, but I guess I just wasn't meant to be. It wasn't meant. Go back on Sky, knock yourself out trying to find an escape from this. You'll never succeed. She's really serious about him. That wasn't the look of a recluse afraid to put herself out there. She must have found her nerve after running into him again so unexpectedly. Wish I could be happy for her. But all I can think about is how stupid this lovey-dovey stuff is. So ends another ancient. I guess. Oh well, this sure means I'll have to find another client. That means there's one more thing I can sell here now. That's NFF service for you. We never stop chasing your dreams. Yeah, these are tire tracks. They definitely came this way. Oh yes, I guess I should have expected you to tag along too. I hope the others are okay. You just focus on taking care of yourself right now, man. How are you feeling? Still a little feverish. Still a little feverish. Unfortunately, we can't afford to go any faster. We need to conserve energy in case we have to fight. That's true, but these tracks are old, so I'd say the enemy is way ahead of us. Even if we can't catch up, so then we definitely can't afford to fall any farther behind. The fact that they also took Da Vinci homes and the rest of it, then it must mean that they try to figure out how the Zero Save engine works. If they can't work it out themselves, they'll need to make the ones who build it talk. At least we should have to worry about them being usually executed, but that will only last so long. Once they outlive the usefulness, it's entirely possible Kenshin won't want them as prisoners. There's also again that you worked up about it, but you can't afford to take your time either. I'm sorry, Ned, but you just have to hang in there for now. Don't worry about me, we're fine, really. Wait, I'm seeing hostile figures at 12 o'clock. It's more of Kenshin Hong mechanical soldiers. So I see. I did figure you were due to run into some, but I just assumed that what.
愛そうか殺そうか。古きルーン。そういうこともできる。生きるの。穂よりは違く、私たちは炎、雨、マリアナリッパー。解体するよ。
Tanantana.
そういうこともできる。古きルーン。どれにしようかな。これだね。なんだっけ。穂よりは違く、私たちは炎、雨、
マリアナリッパー。
ささやかに。
Não matou, não matou, não matou, não matou.
行くよ。
Como não gritou, mano? Que merda.
命令との。思う存分解体させてね。
Mangazinho, rapaz, eu assisti. Eu li o mangá do Sweet Home, cara. É legal, velho. Ah, esse aí que você tá falando. Esse aí é bom que você tá falando? The beginning after the end. Dá uma olhada. Cara, qual o seu problema com vingança, velho? The battle is over, no more enemies in the area. There's even more of them than I thought there'd be. The way that they just happen to be here on patrol. I think you might know why. I might know why. Take a look at these remains. Well, that's odd. We didn't destroy this. Exactly. Someone else must have fighting them before we go there. We got there. 86. Ah, o Sweet Home tem. É mangá coreano, manhwa. Tem 140 e já terminou. E o final é legal, ó. É, o Sweet Home eu li em 2 dias também. Já someone else must have fought them before we got here. The ones who just fought may have been reinforced. The ones who just fought have been reinforced. We got there too late. We got there too late. We got there too late. They might have come to investigate the battles afterwards. And it's safe to bet that neither Mordor nor is a king this way. So does this mean there's someone else here butting heads with the Empire beside us? Maybe a rogue servant. This is very possible, especially since we just saw the spirit orange graph flare up. This can't be a coincidence. And if you can manage to find them, we might just gain a new ally. Sekai Tensei anime. Mushuku Tensei. Pô, tem que anotar esses nomes aí, velho. Bota no Discord depois também. Or a new enemy, if you're unlucky. Either way, we'd better investigate further. Let's try looking around and see what we can find. See what we can find. Well, I certainly won't be expanding my clientele anytime soon if I don't get out of this prison. I can't believe this talisman is the genuine article. Ai, caralho. I never thought humans would be able to keep the sage arts working for over 2,000 years, but I was clearly wrong. They even managed to advance them here. I really need to leave this Lostbelt, and I do not get along. I knew it was a mere human thinking going all the way to Montpellier and glide to claim secret sages. If you're going to go that far, you might as well have stayed there and become a sage yourself. Where does this clown get off coming back to the Himmel world and staying on as an emperor? I was just thinking about this stupid emperor and the stupid missing face pisses me off. I can't believe I let myself get trapped like this, all because I couldn't get a read on the emperor's expression. Yo! Oh, it's you. I didn't think I would see in the place like in the place. I would see you in a peaceful Lostbelt like this, but I guess you show up just about anywhere. What is it, foreign priestess? Oh, I have no idea what you're saying. I wish you would hurry up and learn our language already. I wonder if Kishitari already understands you. Maybe he's even keeping a record of everything you've been saying and doing that involves us. Well, none of that's might be anybody's business. The trauma contract is with the foreign god, not you, even if you don't speak for it. But never mind that. Do you think you could peel this talisman off for me? This Lostbelt King is a tough negotiator. The other Lostbelt Kings might be monsters that no human can control, but Kishihama pulls that off while still somehow remaining human. Monsters that rely on brute strength that can fight just by existing, but David's humans are terrified because of what they actually do. So I promise you, if something isn't done soon, the cryptors are going to lose their hold of this lost belt. Their archaic emperor might even end up cutting down the throne of emptiness before it can become your seatbed, you know. Archaic, you say? Do tell Yaniansky exactly which part of us is archaic, huh? Damn it. Hey Fuji, enjoying a conversation with the wall? Are you? You see, you must have finally lost it, as they say. I'm flattered you'd go out of your way just to peep on me in my little cell here, Imperial Majesty. That you can peep anywhere you want, yet you still can't see what's really important. What a joke. We have passed judgment on Chaldea. Now the time has come to properly access your conduct as a visitor of our empire. Has it now? Does this mean you finally realize that Chaldea was your mortal enemy all along? Indeed we have, but that does not absolve you of your own separate crimes. Whatever do you mean? The enemy of my enemy is my friend, right? Chaldea is both your enemy and your Imperial Majesty. I'm certainly not the ones who's been running your farms, but you are the one who brought those demonic beasts that began eating our people around the time Chaldea appeared, no? Crap, I'd forgot about that. Oh, well, that's strange. I guess the fell out of my pocket or something. But really, do you even have any proof that it was my mistake? There's no difference between some demonic beasts and some heroic spirits of Ralto, you know? How do I know that isn't just playing them? I did explosion to serve my people's way of life. They never kill them just for sport. But you, on the other hand, take pleasure in nothing so much as busily devouring humans. There's the hand to conduct a thorough investigation to determine your guilt. I see, so you still have a record of my past self, even in these lost belts. Alright then, what are you going to do about it? Do you even have time to waste now that you know that God is the greatest threat to you and your nation? It is true that we do not, while being quite adapted parallel process, our greatest concern is indeed Chaldea. We can only afford to dedicate our rare spare moments to dealing with you. So you're afraid that your interim punishment will have to be somewhat artless, messy. The talisman seals your power, preventing you from fighting back. Yes, then we can delegate your punishment to this automata. What? As such, this purpose will torture you until you can see to your punishment ourselves. Hang on, are you joking, right? I mean, you can the great emperor of this domain. Surely you can be so completely twisted. We do not this for our enjoyment. That is for our own enjoyment, it is our duty to see justice served. Wait, please, don't go. We are sorry about this, but we simply lack information to determine how spirits such as servants and alter egos behave in worlds that are not their own. For all we know, destroying your body accidentally or otherwise may even set you free. Neither can we afford to let you bury this place in sulfur. But so long as you manifest here, you are bound to that physical body. This is going to be certain enough. So we will keep you alive, but ensure you lack the strength to escape. If we order your body drilled full of holes day and night, never piercing major blood vessels, you should survive. But unable to replenish medical energy, so I have no choice but to behave. Please forgive me, just let me go, and I promise I will leave right away. I'll never come to this last belt again, so please stop this. Out of the question. Even if you did leave, you would only sow more evil, the histories know. Besides, there is more to you than meet the eye. You read far more than all the servants combined. Even I was shocked to see your soul. Already, your spirit origin's mass weighs nearly 100,000 tons. With that, right, we are destined to rule all of the human world that will never change, regardless of what time or fate itself may have started. As you are destroying mankind, we have all the more reason to deny you your freedom. So, you even care about peace in the lost belts? You really are hopeless, aren't you? Ariel, your eternity in your land will continue to return to stone. We can put you into eternal slumber once we devise a proper seal ritual for you. Until that day comes, you will face justice for your crimes. We suggest you spend this eternity of torture or flight on the many people you have killed and the pain and suffering you caused them. Don't you touch a stone? Who does this directed can? Sun Wukong? Oh, no, please. Pitiful. Everyone we meet, he's so weak I can hardly stand it. But then there's people are they seem to be mechanical puppets, how awful. At this rate I don't know when we'll get able to form a contract with a master. I think it'd be too much horseplay if I ask whether they are master before kicking them to death. Not at all, in fact, that sounds like an excellent idea. That said, anyone capable of ordiners around should be able to take a good kick from you without even losing their smile. Master, I see figures, human figures up ahead. Oh wait, it's one human figure and one equine figure, except it looks like the horse has a weapon. It seems they noticed us too, they're headed this way. Well, hello there, it's good to finally meet another servant. One who appears to be accompanied by a mage with command spells unless, I must say I'm rather jealous. It would seem you have a master with whom you have formed an official contract. Does that mean you two don't have a master? No, we do not. If that master else happens to be looking for the servant, this is a most fortuitous encounter indeed. Doesn't mean you I definitely like some of your servants. I mean, yes, it helps as long as you all survive. What do you mean by that? Well, I mean, we're going to kill you now, of course. What? Fuck? So it'd be like that, huh? You're okay with this, Jinky? What? We still have obligations to our Lord from when we were alive, so we make a point not only swear loyalty to those who are truly strong. The Flying General has a reputation to uphold after all. Everything we must say towards ourselves, no matter how many times or so may towards us be great. The Flying General, there's one person in global from Shankling who is looking to you. You're Shanggong, aren't you? So you figured out that really did you? Well, I'm just a tactician for the real world, so my true name is hardly worth hiding. But if you admit to service and if you have to trust your life, then you must consider you're strong for kills. And so we try to kill so. If you land this bad, then our release was never meant to be. Answer me this, are you my master? What? Não sei o que eu tô da borda, ah. What the fuck tá acontecendo? Eu preciso descarei até você para minha vida. Maria da Ripa. Nope. No, nope. Ei, cara. Não, understand.
切るね
Nope.
私も行くよ目かけになるという祖はエジプトの落葉終焉を示す時の日ウラエウス・アスターテ
Uraeus Astarte.
人馬一体
Ai.
ヨヤのソングなんだと行くよささやかな子よりをすごく私たちは炎、雨、マリアナリッタ
Eu não prestei atenção que ele tava
人中に
com
両
a
馬
verde.
中に赤と今や一つミテーションゴッドハウス
よくてよまあいいでしょう
É isso.
お黙りなさい慎んで見上げなさい こうしてほしいんですよ
Ah, tá. Tem 3 Jack.
切るね
Menos mal.
シャー
光る光る
解体するよ
光る
思う存分解体させてね
Tum, 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 tum. Esse aqui tinha senso do evento. Ah, foda-se. Alright, that's enough. We are already here. I believe this boy is more than strong enough. What do you think? That was fun. His Majesty for present without even going you himself. Would we have to let him ride on my back? I'm Lubu Fengsheng. Pleased to meet you. What? What? Yes, it's better you ignore that bit. It really doesn't matter at all. Moving on. I guess you should have heard that this 7 strong Carolina. What do you think, Master? Everything. Because you to make eye contact. I'm not. I just figure this kind of compromises are worth making, giving you this in this for the long haul. Thank you, my lord. As of today, I, Shengon, recognize your Lord Ned as my master and swear an oath of undying loyalty. Looks like getting to know each other is going to have to wait. It looks like someone noticed the battle. Princess, you weren't exactly keep it quiet. Yeah, but good fun it seems. You need to give us a test run, so to speak. Yeah, in fact, someone big comes over a copy of a bottle, and that's like you. Yes, let's do this. Stand back now, Lord Shengon. Me? Why? You know I have a great strategy I've been dying to test out. You mean this strategy where you point out the enemy and say to me, go blow yourself up with them? That would get people killed if they weren't robots, you know?
ることね。加藤かつ低質な武男たち。いろいろしたいのね。許可よ。行く。切るね。解体するよ。まあいいでしょう。よくてよ。まあよくてよ。切るね。おだまりなさい。どれにしようかな。古きルール。よやのん行くよ。子よりはすごく。私たちは炎、雨、マリアザリッパー。解体するよ。思う存分解体させてね。
Já, vocês são muito hater de Fate, velho. Fate é gado, mano. Oh, there. Can you hear me okay, nerd? Ah. Da Vinci? Oh, good. Looks like we've got a clear signal. I knew I'd find a portable commonsters void space give us some truly insane range would be a good out. My dreams at work. Nossa, velho. Qual o seu problema, velho? Yes, that's very impressive, but we thought you'd all been captured. Indeed, we are currently being confined some distance from you at Ankang. We would have called sooner, but we had a little too much in the way of supervision. Anyway, it really sucks that they took the border with them. But at least me, Holmes, Gordy, and the rest of the staff are all being held in the same place. I'm surprised they didn't take your comms when you were captured. Yeah, I thought it was proper to we did too. I didn't think it's because they tried to get us to talk so they can monitor the conversation though. Indeed, they had intended before for converse they would have likely put us in separate cells. Aside from that, the secret is secret, so they relax the problems with it is maybe the point of talking about the web. Given how the whites have been treating us, they say they didn't really not have noticed the comms. Or more likely, they just didn't suspect that these devices could be used for communications at all. Really, I'm surprised they would look something that important. I imagine it would occur to them that we might be carrying around a communications device. But these are prison guards, right? How could they be so crazy to keep their jobs? Remember, this Lostbelt science and engineering have developed completely different from that holds equally true for what it excels at. George, relax. I recognize that tone. You figured something out, haven't you, Holmes? I surely have. Think back to Kenshin Huang, who gained immortality by exchanging a physical body for a mechanical one. Even if they've added the body, the destruction might have scenes, don't they value that they spend so much absurd proportions? Oh, now that you mention it. Then there's the enormous gap between technology the Emperor employs and the primitive way the farmers live their lives. It may be a benefit of the lost advanced medicine and biochemistry, but the machinery has not advanced beyond the medieval era. Machinery. This is a part of the past of the Emperor attempts to maintain perpetual ignorance throughout the Empire 6 area. But this is the Lostbelt may highly technology advance. The sole beneficiary of this advance is its ruler. Besides this technology advance, will never spread to the masses. Yeah, it would go nuclear if he had heard that. Remember how he was used to multiple bit wrong. He used to feel red in the food. This also means that there's an astonishing technology. He runs an old-fashioned combustion energy engine. He examined not to mention, I guess it would, wouldn't it? This may seem preposterously inefficient regards the fuel from our standpoint, but if Kenshin only kept off Shenyang, which any produce attached to their own used fuel, and rather they are still able to meet their energy needs regardless of that inefficiency. Even the environmental cost of harvesting such massive amount of biofuel is unlikely to become a serious problem without anyone else making use of electricity. I see, I suppose you could get away with it then, so long as we take the entire planet, which the Emperor has done. Now then, let's try a little thought experiment, shall we? In a situation where there is no incentive whatsoever to develop technology for mass production and widespread use, what do you would be most miniaturization and optimization, right? Precisely, technology only sees widespread use when it is sufficient, compact, and affordable. But in the last neither of those constraints are a factor. Kishima's ability to monitor everything within the Empire simultaneously is a remarkable feat, but I cannot imagine the way it maintained it early task without mastering the efficient labor costs. However, if Kishima is the only one who uses such as a city, then concerns about the consequences would be moot. The idea for integrated circuits would never go to the Emperor, nor would be the concern about the cost of the entire nation disassociation sounds like a pharaoh ruling from high atop the pyramid. I doubt it would even occur to his world's inhabitants to carry around machines for personal use. There certainly isn't any for them to carry individual communication as they can converse with the Emperor, wherever they may be. For that matter, in this world, this very concept of long-range communication is the Emperor's sole domain. There is no real need for private communication between individuals over distance here, nor would it ever be permitted. So that's why the idea that we might have some communication with each other like never occurred to them. It says that Geshe would be so blind that the pride they want to produce a proper image of the technology wouldn't really get notice. For the most part, I believe you were right, Da Vinci. Because certainly the Emperor took into the shadow board as zero seal technology, but it would seem nothing else was worthy of attention. And the spot of such a regular blind spot showing. And at any rate, I'm glad to know you're around. We should be able to reach Ankara in about a day or two from our current location. Yes, I would encourage you to move without possible haste, you see. How did the directors be so quiet? Oh, God is asleep. Well, actually, he's gone so weak that he's passed out. What? But why? He should still have plenty of time now. Is the poison? He didn't seem to agree the last time I saw him. The worst thing about Koyan's poison is that it has different effects on different people. I think it has something to do with the victim's karma. The more bad stuff they've done, the more they're punished. In this case, the effects hadn't been any worse than a bad cold, but Gord's already had his digestive system fail. You know, I thought it was weird too. I haven't seen Stubby stuffing his face once since we got here. So he wasn't able to keep anything down at all. He was only getting by things to an IV drip. I was giving him this credit while he was on board. Sorry I didn't say before, but in case you can perceive it was his way of trying not to make you worry. Worry right to board. I had no idea he was struggling that badly. Q, buckle Q. I can imagine another festive. I think he might be good for being able to good of fest. Once you got us in here, couldn't treat him anymore. He's going to get real bad real quick. And it doesn't have much interest in helping either. Kishima's only interest is in the Vinci's might good of self is really not a concern. Indeed, I hardly think the Emperor cares if the water precision manage to survive at all. This is terrible, I need to hurry there. Let's go right away. Please do. They said I do have one spot of good news. It turns out the surprise guest is staying here with us. Damn it, almost knock it off. This isn't the time for your usual crazy nonsense. Ah yes, quite right. Let me come right to the point then. It seems Sky is being held here in the same facility. Really? You can do the way you know, you're very well to do things without capturing us ourselves. Puppy girl. The Ai, minha cabeça, minha cabeça, minha cabeça. Automata. Is your belief that the other Chaldeans will next show themselves at the position? They will do this, you believe, even though the most crucial asset, the Shadow Bot, is already on its way to Shanya. I do difficult as it may be to believe they are quite truly shackled by their absurd morality. I forced to choose between people and assets, they will always ignore the big picture in favor of life, even if it creates more danger for them. They are the very incarnation of foolishness. Well, if you feel you are that certain, we will not attempt to dissuade you. We do not know what trick they have employed to lure your sight, but we have received a report of figures matching the description found near Uncan. However, we will permit you to remain at that facility. Command the guard should the need arise. However, Kwai will not go with you. We are assigning him to guard Shannon as a shadow ward is our top priority. I understand. Yes, we agreed to go with Shannon around you, didn't we? Surely the jest, Imperial Majesty. Lord Shangyu has no concern for what he is called whatsoever. If your prediction turns out to be correct... Correct, Mr. Que isso, cara? Tá prestando atenção na história mesmo, viado? If your prediction turns out to be correct, this will be a prime opportunity to restore your honor. See that you claim your revenge. Tá prestando atenção certinho, velho. I will, your Imperial Majesty. You seem displeased, Saber. I don't like having Koreans claiming the Chaldeans being kept prisoner in the same facility. True, in a world keeping enemies prisoners separate is only sensible in warfare. For one thing, you don't want to risk them working together and escaping. But King Shinfu is more concerned about keeping all the Empire enemies in one place than the threat of them banding together. If you think your enemies carries over disease, it makes sense to keep them isolated in a single location. Especially since the reason Emperor can wipe them out at once, but once if necessary. Then if the prisoners decide to revolt, does that mean the Emperor will drop another star? I wouldn't be surprised if it came to cases the Emperor would not hesitate. The Emperor frightens me. There is something terrifying about the way the Emperor views their subjects and the men of Kishin Hong rule now that they are immortal. Master, can I ask you about some of these Lostbelt China about the state of this eternal empire? Who cares about human society? They can now wipe each other out for our care. They found and destroyed more civilization than I can count, and never once did they learn anything from it. They are just hairless monkeys who decide they were the roots of this planet after they spread like a plague to cover its surface. I couldn't possibly care less what happens to them. They would be doing the world a favor by dying out. What the fuck aconteceu? Eu dei uma bugueira aqui. I'm sorry, you used to have your own nation and people to protect, didn't you? Please, pay me no heed. You have every right to be angry. You must think I'm a horrible person. An amazing heroic spirit, and I'm just using it to satisfy my own selfish desires. Not at all. Emotions are looked down on only because they are fleeting and fickle. But your feet have not wavered once, one bit. Even across time itself, you have conviction, not emotion. And there is no greater honor for a warrior than fighting for his master's convictions. Saber, as such as I have no regrets whatsoever about wielding my sword as your servant. Thank you, Saber, I don't deserve a servant like you. That must be the prison. Foul, I can't believe we made it close without me seeing the bottom field device are amazing. I'm afraid you can get close though, this won't be enough to let us make our inside. Your only choice will be a tried and true method of distraction. Leaving case in assassin, such as would better sneak around than anyone else here, no? And I am a master of bringing the ruckus. Yeehaw! You were quite distracted, you came up with the plan before I'm you had a chance to fret. Oh, it's nothing. I'm quite sure to explain what needs to be done before my lord's big spank. A whole army of shock proof soldiers would like to leap before they look. That sounds like a huge headache. Hardly. It would simply be able to rape them out, if the frames whenever necessary, and while deploy them harebrained scheme to have my lord learn a lesson on he was being foolish. And those battlefields were wonderful fulfilling, with no end of stimulation. Anyway, this does seem like the best plan for the situation. If not mentioned rather, however, this walking storm of destruction makes big enough commotion on the front gate. I can sleep with no detecting me to it with the village doors. It'd be great if you could garbage connect too, but that will depend how much time you'll be able to buy. Able to me show the power of a state who can run 1,000 li without breaking a sweat. Lord Herlugu, his trust is good that I'll say, but just to be sure don't run too far. If we can get it too far away, I won't hesitate to take a shot at you. Is that clear? Nay, they're going to get you too close to leave this rescue zone. That sounds great. Right, I'm set off. Let's do this. Ah, como assim? Como assim não matou, meu Deus? Oh, sounds like they're here. Just listen to all that noise. Mr. Nando never charged ahead along without good cause, which must mean... Sorry it took so long, guys. Is everyone okay? Well, I wish I could stand for real. I'm afraid that we'll have to wait. How's Gordofov? I have an infirmary on the way. So I made sure to grab a few bags of glucose drip and an IV getter. My god. Alright, Jinky, way to stay on top of things. Excellent, and I believe now is the time for us to strike back ourselves. We can put everything on Mr. Net's shoulders after all. Listen, I can hear something going on in the prison now. It seems GK has a secular endeavor with the others. There must be a waste of time setting up an explosive. I can hear some lovely explosion take place even as we speak. Me, these are talking about. I can feel my warrior's blood dance in excitement. Come on, Master, we can't be left behind. This sage. So this goes here. How does the shadow board analysis? How does the shadow board analysis your Imperial Majesty? Our fascinating device, truly fascinating, and yet it plagues us with so many doubts. We understand the principles in this operation structure, but we cannot for the life of us understand why they would make it so small. Our engineering could produce something of equal capability, but it would be a gargantuan vessel. We can only wonder as to why they would devote so much effort to make it so very compact. Electronics alone are positively maddening. We feel as if we were dissecting a flea. We can barely remember the last time we were testing such limits as we are now. I see. Miniaturization. You can even see where they choose to compromise on performance in exchange for efficiency. Perhaps they were simply starved for recourses. Even if they were so, why would they use silicon for all things? What is wrong with vacuum tubes? Ah, what is it, Hanshin? Well, you just got me thinking. If these people can make electronic devices that small, maybe that means they could also build communication devices small enough that they could secret away on their person too. Deu ruim, né, filho? I'm arranging for my guards to be dispatched to their prison right now. Do not bother, it's already too late. We just received word that hostiles are already underway. Just what sort of war do these people come from? Can you imagine it? Ordinary people talking amongst themselves across vast distance without relying on us or asking our permission. This could spread confusion like wildfire. We would not even be able to stomp it out at its source. They truly do bring disasters wherever they go. We must wipe them out immediately. They are like an airborne disease. We cannot let them bring further things to the Empire. Food's very scheduled. Hey, how you've been? Did you miss me? I've been so glad you're all okay. Sure, and we brought along a special guest. Ooh. Koyanskaya. Easy file, please come down. Well, if you're late, maybe I have to admit that I really can't stick around here. So I suppose I have no choice but to cooperate. Naturally, you have her promise to keep providing it to. I have her promise providing it to those she search for help. I trust you for viewer in the bargain past guy. Or done, what's done is done. Unlike you humans, I make a point of always keeping my word. There's no sense in sticking around here any longer. Let's go. Good. You will not be going anywhere. I would hope you will know better than to underestimate us by now. Instead of lonely, you're surrounded this time. You're going to finish you off. Yes, I can see you're deadly serious about that. Beware, Macedon, and just careful to wait until you get out to get before surrounding us. As he says, he's very much determined to emerge victorious. It almost feels like this whole thing might even be heavily on track. Are you serious? Did you really come all the way here to rescue your eyes and only with pluck? Hey, come on, it was all pluck, just mostly. I forgot what you were like. I should have known better than to count on Kalia for help. Alright, let's see how it is. There's no time to be worried about appearance, so I'd be pitching to help out as well. You would go over the enemy's side so it's just civilian skinny authority. Well, yeah, if Kinshi's punishment wasn't reason enough, your own master just severed ties with me, remember? Besides, it's just like I told her, in this world you're either a client or a product. And right now, regardless of the circumstances that brought us here, Cody is a valued client. As such, I have no problem whatsoever listing yesterday's client today's future product. Yikes, remembering not to give her any personal information, not so much as my full name. Besides, this on the occasion face turn like this kind of dramatic. Is she friend or is she foe? What could the mysterious yet beautiful Konya Sky true objective possibly? Daí foi. Now then, allow me to present one of my very best products. A walking disaster from a very different path than proper human history. This hybrid is ported directly from a world of snowy and undying fire. Introducing one of the Nine Fox Foundation's latest and greatest. Nine Fox Foundation is I came straight from the land of frost giants. Ai, velho, não. So she can summon familiar so large and powerful, really by tearing off a bit of her hair and blowing it. What a giant, what the hell did a giant get here? How the hell? Alright, Korea, go ahead and let him handle the little guys. You focus on the circle. Thanks so long, Link would usually be quite formidable, but lucky for you, his sorry excuse for a master should make him considerably easier to defeat. Silence, Fox woman, you know nothing about her. Qual é o negócio? Por quê, mano? Curaram. Seu cu, filho da puta. Seu arrombado. Por quê? Ah. Aí. Curando. Finish of lonely.
精度を上げておくか。存分にあがくがいい。宝物庫の階級だらん。水郷よな。裁きの時、世界の策は我が大陸。ケヨ、ウマ、エリシ。はっ。思い上がったな。行きます。
行きます。はいよ、そう。はい。この辺
りいじった方がいいんじゃないか。精度を上げておく。宝物庫の鍵を。宝物庫の鍵、水郷よな。そうだ。
世界はさかいやエルマエリッシュだらだら
調子に乗らないで
GG
夢のように君の道行きを信じよう。さあ行きなさい。
Hora de afundar o bicho. Sabe aqui.
世界の策は我が大利権
Yeah. Enuma Elish. Ow.
終わらせないわ
What?
仕切り直す交
Ah,
代せよ
what?
何か踏んでしまったかな
Akuta keeps using command spells like there's no tomorrow. This girl is deadly serious about to finish us off. True, unfortunately for her, it is also going to be her downfall. Since she's not used to provide hero support, it couldn't be more obvious where she's providing it from. And boom. Ah! Master! Just a quick little booby trap I whipped up from what I picked up around here. Do you like it? What a wicked fox. I've never seen such lovely skills and looks in one evil package before. Curse you, fox woman. Oh crap, didn't finish her? Ned, hold Prince of London off. Whatever you do, don't let him get to his master. Master! I couldn't stop him. Say, bah. I'm here, master. Well, now you're screwed. Come on everyone, let's run for it. But why? There's no way Akuta can keep fighting with a fat woman like that, right? Alright, you still don't know what she really is, do you? Look, let me give you some honest advice for us. Leave the servant alone and get out of here while you still can. London, West, now that things have come to this, there is no other choice. I beg you, sacrifice me to save yourself. No, that's one thing I will never... I'm sure it's like the idea of feeding on others is the very thing you loathe humans for after all. But if ever there was a time to swallow your pride and do what must be done to survive, it is now. For at long last, you have finally been reunited with your beloved. Think back to all those many years you spent grieving in solitude and isolation. You must survive, my master. This time you and Shang Yu will live happily together. This time you will share in each other's fate. What in the world is that? Did she just eat her servant? Life life absorption. Magical energy metabolization. No way. She couldn't possibly pull that off unless she was a blood-sucking king or something. No, wait, even if she was, this is a servant she's eating. To swallow an entire heroic spirit core, she'd have to be a true ancestor or... Wait, does that mean Aguta Hinako is actually... Are you sure you want to go this way? Oh, yes, Cabesta. Is that your answer? One last question. You must have come to know thousands, if not millions, of great heroes over the course of eternity. So, out of all those many heroes, why did you choose to summon this lowly Gauche and Gongs as your servant? You also had the courage to speak to me without fear. Even all these years later, that memory still warms my heart. Oh, I could ask for no greater honor. Thank you, my master. You maiden. You maiden? He just said you maiden? Oh, come on, is that really surprising at this point? It's not as though she's being shy about showing her affection for his young Shang Yu. The texture of your supposed caliber should have seen her for who she really is a long time ago. But then again, consider how much trouble you lot have with her experimentation and whatnot. I suppose that the idea that the Genuine article, who's been alive for nearly 2,000 years, was hiding under your nose all this time must have been unthinkable. Not even the other critters had an idea. The only one who knew the truth were myself, and it must be difficult for you to understand. For your eternal youth and beauty are nothing more than a curse. I only wish I could have conveyed to you how comfort peace for those of us doomed to rot and fade away. To know there is someone out there whose beauty will remain pristine forever. I had hoped to finish off in a manner befitting a human, since I've been presenting myself as one all this time. Yeah. Well, now that you have forced my hand, I can no longer afford to be magnanimous. This ends now, Caldeia. My curse shall obliterate you before the night is out. Well, now what? You're up against a true ancestor who just devoured an entire heroic spirit original, and she's pissed off beyond belief. True ancestor. Can I just leave now, please? True ancestor. True ancestor. Aí fodeu. Só ela era uma assassina. Então vamos full caster, né? Section 12, Lostbelt, Travelers of the Century. Century. Travelers of the Century, Travelers of the Century, Travelers of the Century, Travelers of the Century. Max. You made it. Eita caralho.
この辺りいじった方がいいんじゃないか。君の道行きを信じよう。さあ行きなさい。お任せ。夢のような形。何事もやればできるさ。お望みのままいいとも。そうれどう柄ではないんだけどね。
もう楽になるわ。どう？滅びの定めにすら向かない我が永遠の洞窟。我身の涙で命を呪え。
Vai ficar assim mesmo? Ok.
純我が劇場のきらめくぞ。忍者だ。ローマだ。間違ってないよ。
Me, of course.
ラウダレント。
Nossa, yes.
やめてよね。そう動くな。おのれ。この奇跡の星。おのれ。もう楽になれば。どう？滅びを知る者、いずれ安らぎを得る下方者たちよ。死の痛みをもって知るがいい。
Aí fedeu. Nope. No, no, no. Nope. Could have many. Sì. Cadê? Iria. Tá maximizando. Increase in peak game or so.
慌てない呪文噛むからね。
滅びの定めにすら違反された我が永遠の慟哭。哀れみの涙で命を呪え。
お任せ。夢の意味。
お任せあれ。麦ちゃんの出番ですね。これしかない。
この辺りいじった方がいいんじゃないか。君の道行きを信じよう。さあ行きなさい。夢の意味。何事もやればできるさ。
私はもう任せ
Por ya.
筋系、神経系、血管系、リンパ系、疑似魔術回路変換。
Aí tá de sacanagem.
もう楽になれば。どう？滅びを知る者、いずれ安らぎを得る多宝者たちよ。死の痛みをもって知るがいい。
知るがいい。
小さな王の話をするとしよう。
読めるね。
星の宇宙物見の星の宇宙物見の楽園の端から君に聞かせよう。罪なき者のに通るがいい。
もう楽になれば。どう？ 滅びの定めにすら見放された我が永遠の洞国哀れみの涙で命を呪え
Eu não liguei.
第三体
Olha mesmo.
そんなに見たいの私ばっかり
Protect the fire.
筋系、神経系、血管系、リンパ系、疑似魔術回路変換
Ai, Deus. Eu preciso ter que destruir outra barra dela. Ai, ai. Ah! How can she attack with such power so quickly? She should have run out of magical energy ages ago. She's not using her own magic energy at all. She's sucking up the endless supply of mana from the world itself and using it as her own. So this is what a true ancestor, an incarnated elemental can do. I never would have thought that China had one of its own. Fighting one of them is like taking on a tsunami or hurricane with your fists. And sorry that went right over my head. Could you dump it out to say horse level? Simply put, we've been quite truly backed into a corner here. That's about right. Oh yes, we're all going to die anyway. Might I suggest to blow yourself up so everyone except me can truly go out with a bang. Will you just shut up already? I don't think I can keep this up any longer, Master. Enough playing around, Akuta. Now that you've revealed your true form, we suppose we should no longer call you by your alias. But then you have never given us any other name. What should we call you now? You would call my wrath, my curses, mere playing around, oh worldly king. What else do you call this? Did you endure eternity merely so you could curse these people to death? Undying one, true one, we have too much respect for you to see you lose your way like this. Return here before you go any further. Recall the pledge you still have yet to keep and do what must be done first. So you do not want me to do anything unless it benefits you, is that it? We are telling you to remember what it is you came here to do. Just what is the true nature of relationship between these two? A pledge? Does that mean she made some other deal with Kishin one I didn't know about? Those of us who endure eternally should not be so swept up in fleeting emotions. You must not forget what is truly seek, how close you are to have it in your grasp, and what you must do yet do. Alright, I understand. I shall follow your advice for now. Akuta, I mean, you maiden has left the battlefield. Phew, I'm exhausted. This stuff can be such a pain. As much as I despise humans, I do have to give them credit for one thing. The weapons they make are so much easier to use. There's nothing better than something that lets you kill a bunch of humans just by pulling a trigger. Koyunskaya, I think you knew that Akuta Hinako was actually your maiden all along. Isn't this son of Gaixia? Who's your maiden? A notable figure from the Kuhan contention, which took place after the death of Kishin Hong. She was the hegemon king of Western Chu. Xiangyu lovers. Yu's lover, and is said to have met and ultimately death in the wake of his defeat. So this means that Yumerin wasn't human and that she's also been alive for thousands of years? I was shocked enough to find out that the legendary Yumerin was actually a bloodsucker or a true ancestor. But then why would she bother infiltrating Chaldea and applying to be a reshift candidate? And if that wasn't enough, now she's a creeper holed up in the Chinese Lostbelt. None of this makes any sense. True, if all you look at the facts, the odds seem pretty long indeed. But if you trace back the source, the answer can be simpler. This all happened because Mary's bird planned for it to happen. As I suspected. Director Mary's bird sphere may have seemed like a good person, but at heart he was still a mage. A mage's idea of doing good and a human's idea of doing good are very, very different. Marisburg may have been a good person, but it seems like he also managed to do good. That is his best as a mage. I expect he must have been anxious. I imagine he had to wonder if reshifting was even possible, and if it was, whether humans could actually survive the process. I guess that's what prompted him to bring Humayren on as a backup plan of sorts. No doubt he must have thought that even if it turned out humans couldn't withstand a reshift, she would either survive or could be resuscitated thanks to her sturdy true ancestor body. That must be why he covered up her true identity under the name Bakuta Hinako and sent her a formal invitation to Kade after she'd been hiding away in the margins of history for centuries. E aí, Jazira? Ai, Jesus. That would have been before the previous version of me was summoned to Chaldea. I do recall Kuta Hinako was already part of Chaldea's staff, even before Team A was formed. Marisburn must have wanted to prove the viability of race shifting come hell or high water. Agreed. I imagined he meant to use her as a guinea pig to make the experiment work, even if they turned out to be mere humans who fit the bill whatsoever. But as luck would have it, not only there turned out to be plenty of viable candidates, the demi-servant plan he had come up to improve the odds of some narrow expert after the reshift worked out as well. All of which meant that Marisbury no longer needed the bother giving Akta Hinako a more special treatment. She was ultimately assigned at Chennai for no other reason to fill the roster, so to speak. Now that I understand, your great director was hiding the true ancestor in his organization all this time. It's no wonder Chaldea came under UN's scrutiny after something that shady. The fact that none of the surviving staff had any idea is just the ultra-ironic icing on the cake. Still, I'm surprised Yumerin agreed through all that being the true ancestor and all. Oh, that's the part you find strange, huh? Well, I don't suppose anyone with a finite lifespan could ever really understand the psychology of a truly eternal being. So, I have to give Mearsbury credit for being able to figure out what it was she wanted. It wouldn't have been easy for him to convince her since she really, really hates humans. At the very least, I'm sure he never offered anything as cheesy as a mink coat. Does not mention all this since I really don't know Mearsbury all that well. I'm sure Romani knew him well enough that he could wait with something useful, but come on, let's get out of here. Agreed, now that we've made and with Kenshin Hon, lingering in one place for too long is tantamount to suicide. Got it, and let's keep our camouflage bounded filled up and put some distance between us and this place. Man, it really sucks that they took the board. Now we have to carry a patient on foot. Please, no more tools. I couldn't eat another bite. I saw something that looked like a truck in the hangar. Maybe could use that? You mean that thing they used when they brought me here? It may be better than walking, but we'll feel every bump of the road and then some. Well, beggars can be choosers. We'll have to make the best of it. Jesus. Long ago, there was a beautiful place. Even today, I still remember the time when there was nothing in the sky but the wind and nothing on the ground but planets. This was in ages past, long before anyone even thought to lay claim to this planet. Before I was separated from the world, before I even had form of my own. but my memories of what came after are all of fear, animosity, and a perverse kind of envy. You and I both look the same, which is why I don't understand. Why do you hate me so much? Why do you despise me so? You would attack me so viciously, all because I cannot die. I never asked you for eternal life. I would have welcomed death. I would have liked nothing more than to fall to oblivion alongside my beloved. True ancestor? Bloodsucker? I don't know anything about those, but that didn't stop you from deciding that's what I was. You said my inability to die made me unclean, that my inability to age made me a monster. None of you listened to what I had to say. Once you decided I was a monster, you just kept treating me like one. I understand you hate humans. I know you want nothing to do with us. But no matter how much you may wish it were otherwise, humans will never to leave you alone. Once they learn you exist, executors will come from far and wide to hunt you down. I cannot do anything to change the fact. As such, I can apologize on behalf of humanity. And I can just give you an outlet for your resentment, to keep my head bowed, no matter what manner of abuse you hit upon it. It is with that in mind that I would like to make you a proposal, if you think me shameless for doing so. If you wish to live in peace and quiet, your only choice is to move yourself somewhere outside the bounds of human activity. Mankind has grown such a numerous indeed. These last centuries have been a nightmare for you. They excavate mountains, chop down forests, and greatly expand the territory with no end in sight. You must have already realized that it is ready, there will no longer be any safe place left for you to hide. So speaking as one partially responsible for the state of affairs, I would like to offer you a deal. There is a small isolated community of maids in one of the most remote areas of the world. Its residents are well aware that prying into the ordinary members live lives taboo. I think you would be right at home in Chaldea. As long as you play along with the false identity you perform, no one will ever be the wiser. In exchange, I would like you to assist me with my research. A quest of sorts, realize my family's greatest dream. Oh yes, I almost forgot to introduce myself. My name is Mary's Burnry, Animosphere. I hope you can see that our interests align spirit of Gaia, as one of the last flowers of the moon left on Earth. I would love to have your help in making mankind both our dreams come true. True human, you made a. True human, you made a. I knew he was lying. He was far from the first ghoul who had tried to uncover my secrets in their own quest for immortality, and yet by this point, I was far too tired to tear him to pieces. I wasn't sure whether he was being truthful or not, but he was right about one thing at least. I no longer have a place in this land. There is no darkness to hide me, no light I can join. There is nowhere left for me to go. Yet, even so, I can still feel the grip of his despair over my fate coiling around my heart. Ah, you, my you, what will your fate be? That's right, I seek an end to eternity, a place where I can hold my head high and declare that I have gone as far as I can. My sole wish, my one final request, is that I may tell my dearly Parte that he no longer need weep for me. Awaken, fairy. The time has come to return to reality. It has been 5 months since your arrival. We have now scanned your entire body 48 times in total. Our analysis is complete. Every last one of your body secrets has been recorded within our memory circuits. We have at least learned the secrets of the Zenran's immortality. You did well, fairy, or perhaps should we continue to call you Akta Hinako? You call me whatever you wish, your Imperial Majesty. You may have anything you like as a reward, or is he alone is enough as you initially requested? He is, I desire nothing else. Then, per the terms of our agreement, we hereby bequeath custody of Quaiji Zero to you. You have served us faithfully for centuries, our very first mechanical retainer. Congratulations on your retirement. Thank you, your Imperial Majesty. It is with heavy heart that I take your leave for the last time. Shangyu, we do not know what sort of name our mechanical retainer may have made for himself in your history. But was this Shangyu person worthy of being trusted with your mystics, Zenran? I could ask much the same for your Imperial Majesty. Why would you need to study me now, when you have long possessed the Fusan tree itself? True, we did learn the mystics of life through our obtainment of the fusion tree, but we never came across a single sage or fairy in all the time we spent exploring their lands. You are the first genuine fairy we have ever laid eyes on, I see. And I hate these fulfill the part of our contract. Tell us, what will you do now? If possible, I would like to stay in a remote part of your land and live out my days in peace. How modest of you, but will Caldea let you do that? The Chaldeans have already incurred your wrath. There is no need to dirt my hands further. It is only a matter of time now, before one of your valiant mountain warriors presents you with their heads. Oh, yes, we see. You do not want Shang Yu to see you getting rough, so to speak. Very well, we prefer this mild maniac to the true colors you displayed at Hong anyway. However, there is one thing you must ask you before you leave our service. Is this road going to perish? At this point, I can no longer tell which will emerge triumphant. The will of this road survive or the will that would see this road destroyed. All I can truthfully say is that I couldn't possibly care less. A good answer. We know now that if nothing else will never oppose us. Now then, if you excuse me. Are you sure about this, Your Majesty? I believe she still knows more about the monsters that have invaded us than she's letting on. Yes, we are sure she does. I was shaken when she said she did not care if this world lived or died, despite saying she would stay. She is a Zambian, a true human, the only one in this world who is on par with a royal personage. Had she voiced her intent to do something along the lines of protecting the world, and her wrath would have been swift and merciless. That would indicate her desire to fight us for this world. After all this time we spent protecting it. But that is not what she said. Indeed, she showed she has no attachment to this world whatsoever. In consequence, she can coexist with us as we rule. Or there can only be one human who controls the world in its entirety. Indeed, Imperial Majesty, it is just as you say. Every two more humans exist inevitably less to colonize, so this cannot be permitted. As the world's only human, we shall guide common people with our love. How they indeed concern themselves with understanding their lands, filling their bellies, sleeping and reproducing, what could be more peaceful? Ai. Ai. Chipano Canyon. Travelers of the Century. Ai, vamos lá, última partezinha. You've got her hands behind her back. Good, make sure that fire is nice and tight, and don't forget the shackles. Oh, come on, is this really necessary? May I remind you, I just helped save your lives back there. I can't believe this glucose drip is all that it took to get Gordy up and running again. It really goes to show what a unique person is good of his, doesn't it, senpai? Se fosse você conhece, cara. The dance floor. I understand how you feel all too well, Tiny. In fact, I can no longer restrain myself either. Accursed wench. Now you're wearing a Chinese dress, of all things. Your wives won't work on me, Konyaska. You won't fool me ever again. Now, what shall I do with you? Oh no, I can't believe you've been captured by such a brute. Whatever will become of me now? You must have such atrocity in mind, but Kenshin punishment to shame a veritable board of torture, the likes of which has never been witnessed in all of human history. And after he's going to kindly humiliate me in this cruel way after keeping me caged like a wild animal. Oh, I'm so scared. Smorgasbord? Carnally humiliate? What? I mean, yes, I'm ruthless, but I never go that far. Alright, that's enough of that. Remember, you're still on the line, Gordy. Oh yes, that's right. We're the antidote for that poison you used on me and Ed. You only promised to hand over in exchange for our help. However, I will even spare you the shackles. Go on and produce the antidote from that bountiful bosom of yours. I don't know what your sexy cleavage looks like in Chad's dress. Now hand over the antidote and make the hopes and dreams of every red-blooded male come true. Of course, I'll keep my end of the bargain. Here you go. Just one bottle? That's it? That's right, a single dose is all I have. And don't be one, sharing it between you will just make it useless. What you're trying to pull? Oh, come on now, think about it. Would I really go to the trouble of preparing an antidote when the whole point of the poison was to kill my target? I just brought along a single dose for insurance in case I ended up taking the poison myself by mistake. That's the only and only contingency I prepared for. Contingency. And now, as I promised, I've handed over a single dose of a contingency antidote to all of you. Whatever happens next is out of my hands. I wonder which one will get to take it. His Excellence, the Great Gordolf, look at this one and only master. And just so you know, Ned, you don't have much time left either. You might not be feeling too bad thanks to Master's protection, but make no mistake, the poison is doing its job. Xiang Shui Minai dries you out from the inside. You only have a few days left to live at best. I had no idea. Senpai. As much as it sucks, I think we have to put our personal feelings aside in favor of the larger picture. I just suggest it. I challenge you to a game of rock, paper, scissors. What? Only one of us will get. One of us will go on with it. That means this is a clash between our wills to survive. And when the stakes are this high, rock, paper, scissors is the only truly impartial judge. Well, normally I would prefer point toss, but that would give me an unfair advantage, so rock, paper, scissors it is. Mr. Gordolf, are you really sure you want to settle this like that? It's alright, Marsh. If they are content to make a decision this way, it's not our place to interfere. Just you, me, and whatever hand we choose to play. A fair fight, if ever there was one. What do you say, young man? So, this is a personal judgment. Very well, I'm glad you're being such a good sport about this. You know, lose no hard feelings, okay? That includes having one of your servants take it by force and other unbecoming chickenery. Ah! Alright, let's do this. Rock, paper. I'm going to use rock. Wait, what? Hey, Gordolf, why do you use scissors there? I can't believe it. I thought the rock declaration was just a ploy and you were actually going to use paper. I was also using my scissors to cut your paper to ribbons and now your rocks dash them to pieces. So you use reverse psychology. You must have developed quite the eye for strategy after Lady Seven to restore humanity. Hey, Gordy. So I've lost. Then I suppose I have no choice but to let you have the antidote. Happy, senpai. Good grief, ain't it? It's been a good show and all, but I think time we got this over with, don't you? Yep, go for it. Hey, what? What's the meaning of this fullness? Okay. Oh, Gordy, open wide. There you go, down the hatch. Oh, are you nuts? Why did you make me swallow it? That was the only thing we had. Now we are going to do. I couldn't just let you die. After all, I wouldn't even be here now if not for you. That's right, you only survived because your iPod ate half of the cake. You had been the whole thing, you would have died on the spot. But I've never said a word about that, so... Indeed, whatever the circumstance may have been, the end result is that Gurdov saved the dad's life, and despite being well aware of that, he has not so much as mentioned it all the time. No doubt he decided it would be unfair to hold that over Mr. Ned's head and how he was about to head off into battle. Well, I don't know if that put quite that way. So now we're even. You fool, do you get off being so decent even at such a young age? Where do you get off? But, very well, this is of course merely a matter of priorities. There can be no team without its leader. Now that I'm fully back in action, all of further plans are guaranteed to succeed. What a joke. How utterly revolting. Maybe I'll just gobble you up from the head now. Oh, seems you have a lady here who can't quite contain her murderous rage. Oh, me? Why, don't be silly. This has all been a hugely entertaining farce. And there's nothing quite like humans, is there? I'm so touched I feel as though my heart might just burst. I'm afraid you have grossly underestimated us if you thought this little performance of yours would hide the truth. That medicine you handed over is not the only means of neutralizing the poison, is it? Oh, and on what are you basing that also hopeful assertion? Might I ask that you choose to come to this particular Lostbelt in the first place? You made sure to wait until the time was right before you went about poisoning Mr. Knight. Were your poison truly incurable, you would only need to flee once the deed was done. As long as you hadn't managed to cover your tracks, you could escape without leaving a trace. And yet, by the time you arrived in Lostbelt, you were very... Now, why would you do something so foolish? The answer is simple, because there is something this Lostbelt need to keep away from us. And we did but a way to kill the poison use. I can't men have nothing much often in their minds. I imagine they must have heard that from Irene Adler a lot, didn't you? Irene. I will take on to draw a comparison between her and an agent of pure evil such as yourself. Now then, as you can be sure that Miss Kaya purpose is coming here was to protect it, we must simply ask ourselves what this cue might be. It would have to do something already lost in proper human history, as well as something unattainable in other Lostbelt which lives. Aha, the frozen tree! Quite so, though there are many things unique to this Lostbelt, the frozen tree is the only thing I can think of that would be impossible to obtain, I swear. As the key to the sage world's mystics, we know that it has no end of biochemical applications, as Kishin has so aptly demonstrated. I see no other magicraft system that could possibly be used to refine such a strange and complex poison. Well, I suppose there's no point in playing down any longer. Yes, right, the poison has derived from the frozen tree. The substance made by distilling its roots with the yin energy is called Shang Shui Min Mai, or Immortal Decline. And one made by the coated leaves with yang energy is called Shen Ho Ming Mai, or Immortal Lifeline. Either way, whether you're making poison or antidote, you need something from the frozen tree. Of course, you could always make an antidote without the frozen tree as long as you could extract something with the same components. But we all know proper human history lost those kinds of mystics long ago, don't you? Which means the antidote I had was your one and only hope. Given that I have Net in my hand, I did consider making him my slave and forcing him to do my bidding, but I couldn't get a test report out of my head. If only I had never heard her mention there was a Lostbelt where the frozen tree remained alive in human custody. So once you knew if that you had no choice but to go unguarded, you must be quite the reward to yourself. I prefer to think of it as knowing when to hedge my bets. Whatever you choose to call it, your instincts help us out considerably for once. Once you obtain the fusion to yourselves, you can chemist that poison, correct? Theoretically, yes. But to actually do that, you'd have to make your aim to Xiangyang where the Emperor is. And you'd have to be insane to that, wouldn't you? Hey, we're going to have to face off Kishin eventually, especially now that the Emperor is trying to wipe us out for the Confucians. Besides, we cannot leave this Lostbelt until we find the Tree of Emptiness and chop it down. The hidden Tree of Emptiness, well, I suppose it all boils down to the same thing. At any rate, curing Sanad's poison remains our top priority. Can I assume our next destination to be Xiangyang then, Director? Yes, of course. After all, we need to get hands on the antidote at all costs. As Code's director and responsible for the lives of my staff, and that includes them. I simply can't afford to go around dying first. But I certainly can't afford to go around living. Well said, Director. Don't worry, my boy, we'll find a way to save you, just as we should done. You're hanging the focus on the Fidikishin Hall. I'm so relieved. I know you're out of your wits yet, but at least this takes care of one big problem. Yep. It's great to fancy director go back to his old self again, isn't it, Senpai? Ai, terminei a minha cota de hoje. Terminei a minha cota de hoje. Amanhã são mais 4 capítulos e tem 4 partes. Ai, Jesus, velho. Ai, Jesus, velho. Beleza, então, galera. Terminar a stream por aqui. Valeu, valeu.